Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events most of all. Thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. You know it. There are absolutely no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. I don't know. I'm going to have a real serious problem today. I don't know which way to go first. I'm looking at it. National Making Life Beautiful Day. Okay, I got it. And how do you go wrong when it's National Corn on the Cob Day and German Chocolate Cake Day, both at the same time? I can live with either one or both of those. Holy cow. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing this morning. Markets, pretty interesting what's going on there as well. And Dow Jones Industrial Average. At the same time. Oh, we've got a little bit of background going on there. Dow Jones Industrial Average up 38.98 right now. Oil up 44 cents. Do we even want to look at what's going on in the oil market, in the gasoline market? Should I share the information? I know we look at it all the time. Should I share this information? Gasoline prices. I was pretty shocked. The gas prices, I was in Nevada over the weekend. Gas prices in Nevada, not a huge amount different of what I paid there to what we paid here in California. National average tank of gas or gallon of gasoline, 2.921. California, $3.72.3. Yeah, well, I paid $3.45 or $3.55 at Costco, $3.30 in Nevada, so it wasn't a massive difference. Looking at it, the lowest price in the country, once again, drum roll, please. Yes, indeed, it is in South Carolina. Over $1 a gallon cheaper, $1.20 a gallon cheaper than we're paying here in California. Good morning, Andy. Glad to see you with us. Zeb, good to see you with us. Caprice, Christopher, glad to see you all with us bright and early on a Monday morning. What else are the markets doing right now? We'll check them out. The Treasuries, U.S. 10-year Treasury, up just a little bit. The German 10-year Bund up a little bit. Italy dropping a lot, down at 0.26. Interesting that you can get the same yield on a German 10 or an Italian 10-year as a U.S. 10-year. Pretty close to the same amount of yield on those two. Pretty fascinating that would be the case right there, but we'll continue to watch those, getting a little extra push in here, guys. So we're going to check that out on our settings a little bit. The big news of the day, obviously, the president is over there in Singapore right now. So is Dennis Rodman. Found a fascinating story this morning. I was listening to a very interesting commentary. I love this one. And no one's going to talk about it. We'll talk about it right here. One of the minority owners of the Chicago Cubs on the news this morning talking about the fact of the Philadelphia Eagles saying that they were not or uninvited going to the White House, about the Cleveland Cavaliers and of course, they lost, so I guess they're not even going to get an invitation. No luck there for LeBron Baby James. Some people call him King James. Yeah, I just refer to him as LeBron Baby James. So he's not getting invited either because he lost again. And the Golden State Warriors, they won. They're not getting an invitation either. So the commentary from the Chicago Cubs minority owner was, you know something, at some point, can't we put down the idea of saying that everything's about politics? Can't we stop the political commentary on everything? I think a lot of people would really enjoy that concept. The idea there being, you know something, let's get rid of that. Let's not worry about it. Let's just go there. We are all Americans. We don't have to worry about who's red, who's blue, any of that other stuff. You know, the President of the United States, regardless, and I had an opportunity to see President Bush 43 while I was gone last week, and, you know, it's a great commentary. You know, it's fascinating listening to the man once he's out of office and off the world stage, out of the spotlight. And the commentary was great. What does he want to be known for? And out of all the things that he did, he was governor of Texas, and he was president 2 terms, and he owned part of the Texas Rangers. Very successful business person. And what does he want to be known for? Being a great dad and a great husband. And you have to applaud somebody when they come up with something like that and taking the spotlight off themselves. The idea that you honor the presidency, whether you are a Republican or a Democrat, the issue becomes honor the president, the presidency, the office itself, and not worry about all the other issues. It's a matter of just saying, you know something, we are all Americans, and that's what we should be honoring at that point in time, at this point in time in our society. But, you know something, that's just one person's opinion, just sharing that with you. Moving right along, what else is happening in the news? S&P may be headed for a 5,000 points increase. Yeah, it'd be nice to see that happen. Anybody that's got a 401k will probably be excited to see if that comes up. U.S. putting sanctions on Russian firms and individuals for underwater cyber attacks. The administration doing something like that, yet they're all friends with, according to a lot of institutions, friends with Russia. Kind of surprising on that one as well. Real estate still looking very good. I got some new information out over the weekend from our real estate folks. Think about this concept. We're going to put out the new summer home buyer and home seller guides. We should have those released later today. If you want to get a copy of it, all you need to do, it's very, very simple. Text HBG to 79564. HBG to 79564. You can get a copy of the home buyer's guide. If you want the seller's guide, HSG to 79564. You'll get a copy of Ron Siegel Radio Home Seller's Guide. Either one of those are both coming out today, both totally free. We do issue those, like I say, on a regular basis. Every quarter we come out with a new version, and the newest versions are hitting newsstands today. I guess I can't say hitting newsstands. We don't even have any more newsstands anymore, do we? Amazing how that continues. Some of these things going away. But, you know something, we save a tree. If you just download the free PDF of each one, they're about 25 pages long, 20 to 25 pages, each one of those. We're going to send that out to you again, absolutely free. What else is in the news today? I've got censored here from Facebook. They don't like it that I put out. They claim that I have a political show when 90% of what we do is talking about real estate, your real estate, things that are important to you as a homeowner, a home renter. Still much better off to be buying a home than renting a home. I'm going to share that information with you in the next segment. We're going to do a little bit of a cost analysis. How about $400,000 home purchase versus renting? And we use basic numbers. We don't use anything too fancy. I'm not a fancy guy, so I don't know how to do all the fanciness. But we're going to include every number in there, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We put them all in just so you'll have all that information. We even put in there home maintenance, because I know that's one of the big issues that renters say, well, I don't want to pay for maintenance. Well, you're going to pay for maintenance anyway, but we're going to put in there the cost of it, because when somebody's renting a property, they're putting the maintenance in anyway. So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to take a look at what is it costing you to not own that home. What does that cost right there to continue paying your landlord's mortgage? We're going to use Orange County, California as the base area. That way you can see exactly, because we have statistics for every area. So if you tell me what area you're in, you can just call our team and they'll look at it and give you an idea of what a cash buy versus rent analysis would be for your area. We're looking at it very, very simply. I'm going to just put in there that we're going to do a 5% down payment. So you're going to get all these numbers, and we'll even put mortgage insurance in there, HOA fees, repairs, the cost to sell the property. Everything's going to be in there. We're going to do it all. We're going to share that with you when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We're going to also talk about, is 1% utilization better than 10% when we're talking about your credit scores? Yeah, credit scores. We're going to got a lot of people always asking me about credit information. That's one of the biggest topics we have on Ron Siegel Radio. So we're going to hit the credit score issue. We're going to hit it head on right here on the radio broadcast. Days on the market. How long is it taking to buy and sell homes? We'll chat about that as well. We'll also talk about some financial planning tips for those just starting their career. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs, has the products for you. You just need to give us a call at 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today, let's check and see what the bonds are doing. How are they doing? Where are they going for you? We'll check that on a regular basis. And remember, the bonds, when the bonds go up, rates go down. That happens. That's just a fact of life. That's the way the markets always work. Mathematical function. So we're looking at the U.S. 10-year Treasury up just a little bit, 2 basis points, 2.957. The Fannie Mae 30-year bond, it's down 2 basis points, which means interest rates are up ever so slightly. Not a whole lot of activity right there when we look at that number. Up 2 basis or down 2 basis points doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. We are trading right now just a little bit below some resistance levels, so we're going to see a little bit of a wind or constriction at the top right there. So we're 101.62. We're at 101.58 right now. So we may not see a whole lot of range to go up. The bond goes down. Interest rates go up. That would not be what we want to see, but that is generally where the market is at right now, mainly because there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. That's the issue. Whenever you see the uncertainty over the geopolitical aspects, that's the bond. People trying to put in money into the bonds. The bond goes up. Usually we'll see the interest rates go down. Hasn't been happening quite that way because the economy is doing so much better. The stock's trading near unchanged levels. Mortgage bonds slightly lower so far. Relatively quiet news day. But we are going to get an important 10-year Treasury auction later today. Very important week highlighted by the summit between the President Trump and Kim Jong-un and inflation data on Tuesday, the Fed statement and decision on Wednesday. We are expecting the Federal Reserve to increase interest rates by 0.25%. On, let's see, what else do we have on? Initial jobless claims, retail sales on Thursday, Empire State Manufacturing Survey, and consumer sentiment on Friday. That's the big issues right there. The 10-year Treasury note yield is trading at 2.96 in the middle of a range between support at the 50-day moving average and overhead resistance at the 25-day moving average. 25-day has held the last few times. We tested it last week, but a break above it would likely send yields toward 3%. So we're going to be watching those bonds very, very closely. So here is the issue. What we're looking at is the rent versus own, or I should say Mortgage Minute was brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. Renting versus buying. So here's the issue. What we look at is a simple concept. We're looking today at $400,000 purchase price versus renting. And we got to give you a little bit of the background numbers because I did have some people question me the last time we talked about these numbers. Okay, Ron, where are you getting some of the numbers? Because it's all statistical. Everything we do on these numbers just comes from basic statistics and mathematics. Okay, so on a $400,000 house, we looked at that one and we said the buying that, your monthly principal and interest there, and again, I'm just using basic numbers, educational purposes, and I should go back and say this because this is a big issue for me. A lot of folks will call, and the first question they ask somebody when they're looking at buying a house or they're looking at a mortgage, what is the interest rate? And I'm really glad that people ask that question because it tells me they're looking to learn. Because if they understood the interest rate question, they'd understand that they're basically getting a bait and switch. Anytime somebody answers that question and says, our rate today is 4.5. Okay, well that means they're looking to bait and switch. And the reason that I tell you that they're looking at a bait and switch, I hear these commercials all on the weekends all the time. I hear the infomercials. We got great rates today, and we're going to tell you. They tell you what the numbers are. How can they do that? And other than to give you a bait and switch number. So the answer to that question is, if you want me to tell you what the interest rates are today, I can go on that super secret website. It's called google.com. And I can get you what the interest rates are. Because bankrate.com, Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America, they all put the interest rates on there. And isn't it amazing that if you look at Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, the rate, Bankrate, they're all basically the exact same rate. Why is that? Well, it's simple. Interest rates are a commodity. Very similar, I mean, I don't even know what the easiest commodity would be to like a postage stamp, right? You can call me and say, how much is a postage stamp today? It's going to be the same everywhere. Now, you may pay a little bit more, a little bit less, but for the most part, it's going to be the same everywhere. The question becomes, of the 30 or 35 different loan level price adjustments, how are those going to affect you? That's the question mark in there, and that's what really why I say it's a bait and switch whenever anybody answers that question. So my passion is really about educating you to say, okay, what is the debt to income ratio? What is the loan to value? What do your credit scores look like? Is it a purchase? Is it a delayed financing? Is it a cash out refinance? Is it a rate and term refinance? Is it a condo? Is it a single family residence? Is it a PUD? Is it a manufactured home? Those are just a few of the numbers that are going to affect an interest rate. So when somebody says, what's the interest rate? If you get an answer other than, I need to do some homework, I need to understand what you're asking, what your situation is, well, then it's a bait and switch. I don't like doing that. We don't do that on Ron Siegel Radio. But when I'm doing this $400,000 buy versus rent analysis, you have to throw something in there. So I just threw an interest rate in there, a hypothetical number of 4.75. Now you also look and you say, okay, on a 4.75, what does that work out to roughly in the square footage of a home? Then we look and say, okay, what is the cost, the rent of a cost per square foot on renting, and we come out with various numbers. So we looked at buying here, and it comes out to buying, it's $1,982 for a $400,000 principal and interest. You add the property taxes and insurance, you're going to add another $669. HOA repairs, another $166. So you got a total there of $2,817. Now renting, you're going to look at this number hypothetically, $1,858, and you're going to be looking at insurance of another $28, $1,886. Now remember this issue, because on one hand, you're going to be looking at rent going up at 3.9% annually. That's the historic number for Orange County, California. So you're going to be looking at the whole time, you're going to be having a less number, the lower number, by renting versus buying in your cash flow. So you're going to be $68,201 better off in cash flow. But wait, there's more to it than cash flow, right? Because you're looking at the appreciation of that property over a 10-year period, which is the same 10 years we looked at for cash flow, appreciation of $256,539. Guess we're a little better off there than the $68,000 in cash flow number, right? The gain that you're going to get, because part of that cash flow number, only part of it really is going to interest, right? Part of it goes to interest, part of it goes to appreciation. The amortization portion is $73,255. So the cash flow is really going into your savings account and you're better off by about $5,000 in your savings, your house being part of your savings account. Now we throw in there a cost of selling, if you were going to sell, of $39,000, full 6%, and then we look and say, okay, what is the gain or loss of buying the home versus selling the home after all the expenses? Well, the first year, you're down by about $18,000, so this is not a short-term issue. But by the end of the 10th year, the gain of buying a home, net worth gain, is $214,201. You've got the initial closing costs are built in, the cash flow is built in, the cost to sell is built in, the amortization. Now, here's another number. I'm not going to pull any wool over your eyes. The likelihood of any kind of a tax benefit of owning a home at the $400,000 level is probably nil. Why do I say it's nil? Well, you've got a $24,000 standard deduction if you're a married couple, and in a 22% tax bracket, you're not going to probably be making enough to have any kind of a tax benefit there. So I'm not going to snow you and say, something you're going to get a tax benefit by owning a home. No, you're not. Not at the $400,000 level, but over 10 years, you're adding another $21,000 a year to your net worth by taking this route as opposed to simply paying rent. And the rent is going to go up to $269,000 over 10 years because you're going to keep adding that 3.9% minimum every year. So think about that concept. The idea here, renting versus buying, even at the $400,000 level, Orange County, California. Now, I used historical appreciation of 5.08%. We've seen that over the last 53 years. Is it going to continue? Can't tell you that. I don't know. But I can tell you over 43 years, the appreciation for Orange County, California averages 5.08. That's the number that you really want to be looking at to see if it makes sense for you. And you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to talk credit scores. Is a 1% utilization better than 10% or zero utilization? What the heck does that even mean? Well, we'll talk about that when we come back. The days on the market drops to a new low. That's your real estate in Orange County, California. And some planning tips for those just starting their career. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
What if your family business could help clothe a less fortunate family? Or your restaurant could feed truly hungry people? What if you could help to comfort the lonely? Plant sustainable resources where nothing has ever grown before? Or make a child's lifelong wish come true? What if all you had to do was simply do nothing more than what your business already does every day? Would you do it? Introducing Processing for a Cause, a unique program that turns a percentage of your business's credit card volume into ongoing donation dollars for nonprofit organizations and foundations. Simply switch your credit card processing provider to Processing for a Cause and begin supporting a worthy cause today. The process is simple, and the cause will change lives forever. Processing for a Cause.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel lending team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel lending team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today. Being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Yes, indeed. Very simple. You go on there, you put in your information, where you want to live, bedrooms, bathrooms, the size of the home, all that information. And our friends at Nest, they'll send you a text message whenever there is a new property that meets your criteria that goes on the market. Pretty simple stuff. No advertising. They're just going to get you the information that you want when you want it, most timely as it comes out. The days on market has been dropping. It is now the lowest. According to recently released data from the National Association of Realtors, the median number of days that a home spent on the market hit a new low of 26 days in April, as 57% of the homes were on the market for under a month. The National Association of Realtors chief economist Lawrence Yoon had this to say, and I quote, "What is available for sale is going under contract at a rapid pace. Since NAR began tracking this data in May 2011, the median days a listing was on the market was at an all-time low in April, and the share of homes sold in less than a month was at an all-time high. Strong buyer demand, a good economy, and a low inventory of new and existing homes for sale created the perfect storm to accelerate the time between listing and signing a contract." I shared a chart earlier that shows the median days on the market from April 2017 all the way through April of 2018, the latest days available. April last year, 29 days. This year, 26 days. We got all the way up in January to a high of 42 days. But 26 days on the market. Bottom line, if you're a homeowner who is debating whether or not to list your home for sale, know that national market conditions are primed for a quick turnaround. If you're thinking about selling, let's chat. The concept is, here's the issue, and this is the one that many, many homeowners miss. And it's a shame that they miss this, but you know, it is what it is. I think my boys here had that somewhere around, but the bottom line
it is what it is.
Right, it is what it is. So here's the issue, is every property is going to sell at market value. There are strategies that may get you above market value, and there are methods that could get you below market value. Now, I don't know why you want to sell your home for less than market value. But there are some people that are out there, and you know that's just their prerogative. They're going to end up selling it for less than market value. But here's the issue. Everything sells at market value. eBay is the best source for that information. eBay is very, very simple to tell you. I just bought some new iPads for some seminars that we're going to be doing for the real estate community. We're going to give away free iPads. But if I were to take one of those iPads and put it on eBay for $1 for the next 7 days, what do you think? Do you think I'm going to end up selling it at $1? Or do you think there's going to be a bidding frenzy and it's going to go up to a price where at some point in time people are going to say, you know something, I can go to the store and buy it for the same value? Of course that's what's going to happen. It's going to continue going up until at some point in time it gets to the market value. So it's not going to sell. That iPad will not sell for $1. Right? Very, very simple. Now, your house is the same thing. If you list your house for $1, I promise you it's not going to sell for $1. But you're going to get a lot of people are going to come to see it, right? So if you've got a $400,000 house and you list that house, if you put that house on the market for $350,000, it's not going to sell at $350,000. It's going to sell a $400,000 house. It's going to get bid up. The idea here is you want to make sure that it's on the market for enough time that everybody in the marketplace that's looking for a house has an opportunity to see that property. I suggest you force them to see it in a very, very concentrated time period. Right? So nobody can come into you're going to list it on Monday and leave it on the MLS and put on there that it can only be seen Monday from 9 to 10 a.m. Wow, okay. But you've already listed it's Monday and you've already missed that time window. And then you're going to be able to see it again from 1 to 4 p.m. on Saturday. Now the problem here is people get anxious and they say, I want to see it early. No, you can't let anybody in until Saturday, 1 to 4. Well, what happens then is if you've got it listed under market, you're going to have a frenzy of people. Everybody that's in that $400,000 price range or in that market for that neighborhood, they're going to be coming and wanting to see that property. Everyone wants to get in early. You can't let them. But on Saturday 1 to 4, you let them all in, and there's going to be a lot of people there looking for that property because they're saying, I know the neighborhood, I just want to see the condition to see whether I'm going to make an offer or not. Then you end up having a lot of offers come in. You have to get with your seller and say, you know something, we're going to review all offers Sunday at 5 p.m., and you have to make sure that your agent puts in the listing notes that all the conditions of what you're requiring. We've got to have a pre-approval. We've got to have a pre-qualification. Maybe they've got to have a fast pass loan approval from our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. They're the only ones that do it. You want to make sure that the people are qualified not for $350,000, but make sure they're qualified for more than that. Because if they're only qualified for $350,000 and you're hoping to get a bidding frenzy, you may end up selling it to somebody who can't qualify for the higher price. We know statistics. I've shared these with you on radio before. That if you list a property below market value, you're going to get about 90% of the people that are looking for that value are going to see the property. If you list that $400,000 property at $450,000, you're going to probably get about 10 or 15% of the market will look at it. Because they're going to think, well, it's overpriced. Now, where do you go first? Do you go to the sale first or do you go to the higher price store first? If you're looking for a new pair of shoes and you can go and get them at Kohl's, or you have to go to Nordstrom. And you know Kohl's might have that brand that you're looking for. And I don't know brands of shoes, so I can't even go there. Right? But you're going to go and say, you know something, most of the time, most people are going to say, you know something, I want to see if Kohl's has what I want before I go to Nordstrom because maybe I'll find what I want and I'll get it cheaper. Same thing with this real estate, right? So they're going to go and look at that property. You're going to develop a bidding frenzy. Now, if you're negotiating with one buyer, you're the seller negotiating with one buyer, it's mano a mano, right? They're going to give, you're going to give, you're going to get to where you want to be. You're not going to sell it for anything less than what you want to sell it for in the first place. Never going to happen. But on the other hand, if you've got it listed low and you've got 5 or 6 or 10 different people that are buying, and you've got a great real estate professional working for you, not one of these online discount services, that's not who I'm talking about, but get one of these great real estate professionals, and if you don't have one, give me a call at 800-306-1990. They'll understand how to do this. You're pricing aggressively. Now you're going to take maybe the top 4 or 5 offers and issue a counter offer to them. And you're going to say, we're in a multi-offer situation here. If you still want the property, you better kick it up a notch, right? You're not going to tell them where they need to be. You're going to say, you know something? Multiple offers, issue your highest and best offer. You're in the running. And then what ends up happening is they're going to come back with a higher number. You're going to end up with close to 400, maybe over 400,000. But you've got people negotiating against each other. They're negotiating against each other. Do you think that you're going to have an issue with a request for repairs? Well, no. You're not going to have that issue because you're going to say, you know something? You don't like it? I'm going to go back to offer number 2. I'm going to go to offer number 3. I've got all these people in line. They want my property. I've only got one. Are you going to have an issue with an appraisal? Well, if your real estate professionals are good, they're going to come out and say, you know something? We know what the market is. We've got a real estate report card. I can share that with you for anybody, right? We know where the market is. But you know something? We need to make sure that we've got somebody that's got enough of a cash down payment that they can handle it if the appraisal comes in low. Because properties are selling so quickly right now, we are seeing in some instances that appraisals are coming in less than what the contract price is. We don't care because what we know is of the value of a piece of property. The value of a piece of property is very, very simple to identify. What a willing buyer is willing to pay a willing seller. That's the value, not what the appraiser says. So if you've got 2 parties that are willing to pay it, they've got enough of a down payment to cover, they may have 30% down payment, but if the price comes in 5% low, well, then you just say it's okay, it's a 25% down payment, and they're still going to use that other 5% it'll be a 25% loan to value for lending purposes, but they're still making the same 30% down payment. The numbers haven't changed. It's just the loan to value number is different. And if you don't understand that, you can give me a call at 800-306-1990. I will explain it to you. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, credit scores, is 1% utilization better than 10% or 0? Credit score is always a big topic on Ron Siegel Radio. We're going to talk about it when we come back. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1, on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area-trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com. Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Good morning, Glenn. Good morning, Jim, Sid, Coach Bruce. Good to see you there. Good morning, Bob. Glad to see all you folks watching us here on the RonSiegelRadio.tv or on our Facebook Live feed, as well as listening on our syndication throughout Southern California and around, I guess we can't even say Southern California anymore, being that we've got a much greater area with the internet and with iTunes and all those other goodies. In any event, the Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it is wrong. Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. Financial planning tips for those just starting out their career. So let's see if we can get a few of those in before we get into our credit discussion. Financial literacy, a skill that's often honed and improved with time, not something that necessarily comes naturally to those just embarking on their careers. In fact, research from the National Endowment for Financial Education and George Washington University found that only 24% of the 23 to 35-year-olds showed basic financial literacy, and a mere 8% showed a high level of financial knowledge. It seems millennials are overconfident and underprepared when it comes to managing their money, what to invest, what to save, how much should be earmarked for retirement. These are all questions that can be slightly overwhelming. Quote, millennials are known for having unrelenting belief in their own abilities. The generation is diverse and highly educated. However, their overconfidence puts them in an extremely fragile financial position, and sadly, they don't realize it, according to Ted Beck, president and CEO of NEFE. Financial experts say there's a variety of steps those just starting their careers can take now to establish solid financial foundation. Obviously, establishing a budget. Start building up the emergency fund. We've talked about that. Start saving for retirement. Diversify your investments. Build and protect your credit. Think ahead. Those are all big issues. If you want the full report, give me a call at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. And that is the Word on Wealth segment, again brought to you by our friends at creditsanitizer.com. So we often look, and I've talked to you about this in the past, about the concept of understanding how much money you need to be putting away, or how much your credit cards, dealing with those credit cards. And the issue becoming, is 1% utilization better than 10% or zero? And it all depends on what you're doing. It's always, many of these items are constantly dependent. Carrying over a sliver of your credit card balance can give you a small credit score boost, but 0% utilization is better for the financial health, right? Do you understand that concept? Well, it becomes difficult for the bureaus to match up a zero because it's all done by algorithms. And if you have a zero in your amount owed, and you've got a limit of 1,000, say, 0 divided by 1,000, can't figure that out. So if you have a $10 or $100 in there, it can figure that out because you've got a small fraction divided by that 1,000, gives you an even smaller fraction. The computers can handle those differences. But don't get to the point of paying interest on that. That's why we want you to make two. If you're used to paying a zero balance all the time, or carrying over a zero balance on your credit card, the idea there is you can make the massive amount of your payment, the majority of your payment, right before the statement closing date. But don't pay it off, right? So I look at mine and I round everything down to less than $100. Right, so I pay it all to the $100, even 100. Then you can go on and you can make the payment, the balance of that, for after the payment due date, or right after the statement closing date, but before the payment due date. Right, so if I've left $67 on there, I'll set up a payment for $67 to get paid right before the payment due date. That way we're paying off the bill completely, but we leave a little bit of a balance at the statement closing date so that the algorithms can do their work. Credit experts, consumers hold differing views on how various credit utilization levels help or hurt your FICO score. Many say that staying at or below 30% utilization can keep your score in good shape, but it's more of a rule of thumb than a clear dividing line. It's also rumored that 9 to 10% utilization is the sweet spot for maximizing your credit score. Although it would seem a 0% debt-to-limit ratio is ideal in credit scoring, not necessarily the case. A credit scoring expert who has worked at FICO and Experian and is a columnist for creditcards.com said keeping a 1% credit utilization ratio can score you a few more points than 0 or 10, though that's not applicable to all consumers all the time. However, personal finance experts warn against paying only a portion of your balance in order to achieve a credit score boost. There is no reason to carry a balance and pay interest on any credit card for the sake of your score, according to Rosemary Frank. She's in Tennessee. For instance, if your overall available credit is $100,000, 1% of that is $1,000. That's a hefty sum to carry on a card, especially if it has a high APR, annual percentage interest rate. Again, here's the issue. How many people have, if you make those two payments that I just shared with you, you're not going to be paying interest on most of your cards. There are ways to play the 1% utilization game without actually revolving a balance from month to month. You just have to do a little research, strategic planning, strategic budgeting. Why is 1% better for your score than 0%? It may seem counterintuitive that carrying a tiny balance on one of your credit cards is better for your score than paying them all in full each month and not using them at all. However, zero balances are seen as a sign of infrequent credit use, which could suggest that you're a high credit risk. Pat Culhane, a credit scoring expert and former vice president of FICO, said that could be because you may appear to be reserving the zero balance for a large, perhaps unforeseen financial need. Sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it? If you use a credit card as an emergency account, that may be a sign that you don't have cash on hand to pay for a sudden expense now or when the card balance is due. Additionally, if you keep all of your cards at 0% utilization by rarely using them, It gives potential lenders little information as to what kind of borrower you might be. In addition, by not using your cards, you're not viewed as a profitable customer for the lender, as banks make their money through credit card transaction fees every time a card is swiped. A credit scoring model can penalize you for showing infrequent credit card use because it doesn't provide any insight into your payment habits. For all the lender knows, you could be responsible borrower or someone who is prone to missing payments. They just don't know. How to maintain 1% utilization on your cards. If you want to experiment with your score by maintaining that 1% utilization, you need to find out when each of your card issuers report your account information to the credit bureaus. It's right around the end of the billing period each month. So if you have a card with a $5,000 credit limit, you'll want to ensure that the balance is $50 on the day you expect your issuer to report. Do the same for any other cards you own, or just pay them down to zero before their issuers report to keep your overall utilization at 1%. Just a simple process there for you. How credit bureau reporting dates affect your utilization. Even if you pay your card balance in full before the due date, your credit report could reflect high utilization because it already reported. They don't report every time something happens. They only report generally once a month. We've talked about that before. So the important dates is know when your statement closing date is. That's right around the statement or the reporting date, which is right around the statement closing date. And know when the payment due date is. Make 2 payments every month. It makes life very simple, especially nowadays. I suggest always setting up a minimum payment right around your payment due date just before then, so that you're never, ever late. Yeah, you may end up with $1 or $2 in interest, but you know something, you're probably spending or wasting that much at Starbucks anyway, so it's not like it's going to be a major issue, especially in light of the fact that you could save potentially a lot of money on interest if you've learned how to maximize your credit scores by taking a few of these different tricks. And be sure to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We will talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Let's go!